Good evening, folks. This is Retro Vibes, and today we're doing a little something different, and we're doing retro sports. First episode of retro sports or sports retro. Um, and we're doing it on my man Julius Dr.J Erving, basketball great and legend. Want to do my first episode on my favorite basketball player of all time. And this is the guy that invented street ball. Some would say, Connie Hawkins was one of the first, but Julius Erving made it real popular in the 70s and brought it to the ABA into the NBA. But we're going to do a little history first and give you his bio. Julius Winfield Erving II, born February 22nd, 1950, commonly known by the nickname Dr. J, is an American retired basketball player who helped popularize a modern style of play that emphasizes leaping and playing above the rim. Erving helped legitimize the American Basketball Association, ABA, and was the best known player in that league when it merged with the National Basketball Association, NBA, after the 1975 76 season. When they merged, Erving won 3 championships, 4 Most Valuable Player awards, and 3 scoring titles with the ABA's Virginia Squares, the Virginia Squires, and the New York Nets. Remember that. Now the NBA's Brooklyn Nets and the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers. He is the 8th highest scorer in NBA history with 30,026 points. NBA and ABA combined. He was well known for slam dunking for the free throw line in the slam dunk contest and was the only player voted most valuable player in both the ABA and NBA. Erving was inducted in 1993 into the Basketball Hall of Fame and was also named to the NBA's 50th anniversary all-time team in '94. Erving was named Sports Illustrated as one of the 40th most important athletes of all time. In 2004, he was inducted into the Nassau County Sports Hall of Fame. That is great. Many consider him one of the most talented players in the history of the NBA. He is widely acknowledged as one of the game's best dunkers, while Connie Hawkins, Jumpin', Johnny Green, Elgin Baylor, Jim Pollard, and Gus Johnson performed spectacular dunks before Erving's time. Erving brought the practice into the mainstream. His signature dunk was the slam dunk, since incorporated into the vernacular and the basic skill set of the game in the same manner as the crossover dribble and the no-look pass. Before Erving, dunking was a practice most commonly used by the big man, usually standing close to the hoop, to show the brutal strength which was seen as a style over substance, even unsportsmanlike by many purists of the game. However, the way Erving utilized the dunk more as a high percentage shot made at the end of the maneuvers generally started well away from the basket and not necessarily a show of force, helped to make the shot an acceptable strategy, especially in trying to avoid a block shot. Although the slam dunk is still widely used as a show of power, a method of intimidation, and a way to fire a team and spectators, Erving demonstrated that there can be great artistry and almost ballet a balletic style of slamming the ball into the hoop, particularly after it launched several feet from the target. Wow. Early life, Erving was born in East Meadow, New York, and raised from the age of 13 in Roosevelt, New York. Prior to that, he lived in nearby Hempstead. He attended Roosevelt High School and played for his basketball team. He received the nickname Doctor or Dr. J from the high school friend named Leon Sanders. He explains, I have a buddy, his name is Leon Sanders. He lives in Atlanta, and I started calling him the professor, and he started calling me the doctor. So it was just between us. We were buddies. We had our nicknames, and we all rolled with the nicknames, and that's where it came from. Erving recalled later in the Rucker Park League in Harlem when people started calling me Black Moses and Houdini. I told them if they wanted to call me anything, call me the doctor. Over time, the nickname evolved into Dr.Julius, and finally, Dr. J. All right. Let me cut and do my own analysis. Dr. J, like I say, he popularized the street game, but the slam dunk, especially in the 70s. And in this time with the NBA, in probably the middle 70s, or the early 70s, you had Wilt Chamberlain, you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, two of the best at the time. And the NBA game after that wasn't really that exciting. ABA was more exciting. It paid more money. They had the three-point line, the red, white, and blue ball. Like slam dunk. They had a slam dunk contest later, and it was more exciting. You got people like Moses Malone signing at 18, going, getting paid more money, and Artis Gilmore, people like that, and George Gervin, David Thompson in the league. And they was dunking and throwing some wild moves. But Julius Erving, he was the man. He was the man at the ABA. Some of his best years was in the ABA. You're talking about those MVPs. I think he said 3 championships in the ABA, 3 scoring titles in the ABA with the Nets and the Squires. Julius was, it was just, he was just on fire in the ABA. 2, 3 MVPs. He was the man, the doctor. And when he got to the NBA, and the NBA is supposed to be going through hard times, I think that it was because the NBA was turning more African American, or as you call it, it was, and people didn't like that the black players was taking over the NBA, and they said it suffered attendance because the NBA looked African American, and Doctor was the biggest draw at that time. Anywhere he go, he would fill up the stands around the country, and it was just amazing. He got a movie part in The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, basically a lead role. Wasn't that great of a movie, but hey, he still had a movie part. This is how popular he was, and I think that was 78, and so on and so on. The doctor really opened the door for people like Michael Jordan. Before Jordan, there was the doctor. And people then later, Vince Carter, people, doctor was the first, Julius Erving. In the 80s, he won his first championship with the 76ers in 83 when they swept the Lakers. And he retired in 87. So he played with Charles Barkley at the time, which Charles Barkley was more liked at that time than how he is now. But, you know, the Philadelphia 76ers in the 80s was a good team. They always competed for a title in the early 80s, especially with Doc. So they lost a title against the Trailblazers in, I think, 77. And they lost against the Lakers in 80, you know, Magic's first year. And they won a title in 83. So the Doctor always had them competing in the title. He can score because the Doctor can get to the rim. And what a revolutionary player he was. And he had style. Doctor had a big afro, you know, dressed nice. He was cool, one of the coolest guys you would see. And when you talk about the NBA, two of the coolest guys in the NBA was Julius D.R.J Erving and Walt Clyde Frazier. You know, the style of how they was off the court. So I'm gonna sign off and close this. This is my first retro sports retro, whatever you want to call it, and the first episode is Dr.J Julius Erving, one of the all-time greatest basketball players of all time. And we're going to sign off and say peace, God bless, thank you, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in another video. Peace.